Hell's Paradise was released in January of 2018, written and illustrated by Yuji Kaku. No, not Itadori, a different guy. Similar to other mangaka, not much about Yuji's backstory is known. However, it is known that he worked alongside another mangaka called Tatsuki Fujimoto as an assistant on a little manga called Fire Punch. Fujimoto being the guy who literally wrote and illustrated the greatest piece of media ever, Chainsaw Man. The apprenticeship with Tatsuki Fujimoto provided Yuji with valuable insights into the manga industry, contributing to his development on his own distinctive style. Hell's Paradise was serialized in Shueisha's weekly Shonen Jump magazine, a story about ninjas and criminals fighting for their life on an island filled with supernatural and unusually powerful creatures, with questionable abilities and confusing sex things. The exact influence of Hell's Paradise isn't extensively documented, but what is known is that it's undoubtedly been influenced by the literature The Island of Dr. Moreau, a story of a mad scientist abandoned on an island who creates human hybrids from animals, a story which sparked real-world concerns and philosophical discussions about the nature of humanity and consciousness. Whereby the story of Hell's Paradise is a phenomenal story which holds fantastic characters in the struggle of isolation, human emotions, and existential reflections. My favourites of which being the relationships between these two characters right here, Gabimaru and the female swordswoman Sagiri, because both characters help each other confront aspects of their own identity, which become the most genuine, relatable, and realistic relationships I have ever seen between a male and female character in media I've ever seen for a long time. The story takes place in a strangely beautiful yet terrifying setting that unravels the characters in it, who they truly are for better or for worse. That is honestly way better of a start than the first 300 chapters of Bleach. Jokes aside, I am trying to get through Bleach. If you want a Bleach video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It really means a lot and I would greatly appreciate it. It does really keep me motivated to keep grinding YouTube. Without further ado, here is why you should read/watch Hell's Paradise. The opening pages of Hell's Paradise introduces us to Gabimaru the Hollow, who is trying to off himself, which introduces us to Sagiri, the woman who is tasked with his execution if all else fails. The first thing you'll notice about Hell's Paradise, other than a very strange plot and weird creatures, is its art. Yuji Kaku, the madman, pours his goddamn heart and soul into every panel and page. And what I like about Yuji is, unlike other mangaka, there's no real fear in using a double or single page spread, and just lets the reader sink in all of his work and artistic flair. The other thing you might notice is that there is really no background to Yuji's pages and uses a minimalist approach similar to Kubo, the author of Bleach. Some might say that this is lazy, but I actually enjoy how these authors are allowing us to focus on the characters themselves and focus on their emotions. Let's face it, the setting is really not that important all the time anyway, and let's face it, the art is stunning. Just look at these chapter covers. This is really what you can expect for the entire manga. An example of beautiful artwork and storytelling I'd like to share with you is a moment after Sagiri is metaphorically consumed by monsters and devils, the literal representation of the fear that she experiences when taking a life. And in Sagiri's own words, and a really interesting part of the story, the blade reflects one's own nature. So no secrets or intentions are truly hidden from Sagiri. The moment she attempts to kill Gabimaru, thus fulfilling his desires, he actually runs away in fear, holding on to the one thing he actually holds dear. Where it is revealed that his real desires is to actually be free and return to his wife, something that should be impossible for a wanted criminal. Sagiri gives Gabimaru a very interesting offer. If he can simply return the elixir of immortality to the Shogun, he will be pardoned for all of his crimes as an assassin. Sounds simple enough, right? Well, no, not really, as the elixir of life is found beyond the other side, where men return from their voyages, emerged dismembered, rotten, and adorned with haunting flowers. His path to redemption hinges on a seemingly straightforward task. Again, really interesting beginning if you ask me, only slightly better than another shonen Jump. As we navigate the landscape, the visual spectacle of Hell's Paradise further captivated me. The contrasting hues in the series are as vivid as the characters themselves. Sagiri dons a predominantly white and red outfit, white symbolising purity, innocence and light. Her character embodies a sense of clarity and moral purity, especially as she takes the role of an executioner who seeks justice. The red in her outfit signifying her passion and determination. A sharp contrast to Gabimaru, who sports a traditional black robe as an Uragakure ninja, symbolising the mystery and the seriousness of his character, while the whole setting itself, the island, is pretty much every other colour. Something just interesting to note and is especially prominent in the anime. Against this backdrop, Sagiri's personal journey takes shape, aspiring to reach the pinnacle of her father's skill as an executioner. Sagiri finds herself seeking to reach her father's level of skill as an assassin, a man with a cut so prestigious and skillful that the man he killed once was done so even without him realising it. Something Sagiri should realistically strive for, a woman in touch with her emotions and being exceptionally empathetic, who should value such a merciful killing. What I like about Hell's Paradise is the challenging emotional situations our characters are faced with. Akin to something like Naruto, the characters are kind-hearted by nature but are faced with death, suffering, and pain, something they wouldn't desire in any different circumstance. Really getting some Itachi and Gohan vibes here, which I really enjoy. Sagiri is always surrounded by her demons as they consume her after each and every kill. The word fear is used a lot in the sense that it represents Sagiri's guilt and remorse after each time she takes a life. To her surprise, Gabimaru's demons are actually completely engulfing him to the point where he is unrecognizable. Gabimaru seriously pities the people he kills and has a clear, direct look of sadness when ending a life, which is revealed in a scene that seems very fitting. A hollow who has a wife and has been secretly not wanting to die, resisting it at every turn, finds killing people a shame. The strength of Gabimaru isn't necessarily his physicality or ninjutsu, but is actually the resolve to bear the weight of taking down a life and the fear that entails it. This reveal actually strikes a chord with Sagiri as she breaks down crying, strengthening her resolve to killing Gabimaru if it is deemed necessary. The panel is by far my favourite in the first volume, with many, many more to come. Besides the art being top notch, the humour is genuinely amazing and lands for me pretty much every time. Hell's Paradise is just actually really goddamn funny. As a part of the rules to accompany the island, Sagiri must have Gabimaru have his hands bound, which Sagiri and Gabimaru actually have an argument over. Sagiri shows her true resolve in a pretty fire scene, asking Gabimaru if he does not comply, she will execute him, and Gabimaru complies. Later on, they discover another criminal inhabiting the island who is guarded by one of Sagiri's clan members. The criminal uses a sneak attack on Gabimaru where he takes literally 0 damage. Sagiri asks if he is okay, to which my boy literally just says, "I'm fine, but we really need to discuss that thing over there." An exposition dump is exchanged where we learn the lethality of this criminal, as he is a weapons master, someone to be feared, and could be seen as the final boss of the series, a man who can slaughter countless people and towers over Gabimaru. To which my boy basically says, "Cool story bro, but I was actually talking about why his hands aren't bound." I don't know about you, but seeing Sagiri, this cool, calm and collected swordswoman, flustered by a legitimate, fair and honest question was hilarious. Throughout the first few chapters, we get to see a few instances of Sagiri threatening Gabimaru's life, which of course foreshadows a battle between them. The assassin and the swordswoman do battle, the man with no emotions versus the woman who is in touch with hers. However, they are both clearly holding back, and they can't go all out due to their current mentality and mixed feelings. Gabimaru needs to remove his emotions, and Sagiri needs to fight off her demons. And this is where Hell's Paradise really started to click for me. These characters have a connection that go unspoken. Powerful words and threats have been exchanged, but you can tell that there really is a soft spot for these two characters. A similar love to that you might have with a dear long lost friend. And don't get me wrong, this scene is not romantic and is not supposed to be viewed as such. Gabimaru is blasted with regrets and thoughts of why he cannot kill Sagiri, and feels a sense of vulnerability despite his stoic exterior. Gabimaru is no means invincible, and he harbours a deep-seated fear of death and sadness. Gabimaru is provided with many opportunities to kill Sagiri, but unfortunately he prevails and puts our girl Sagiri on the ground. Gabimaru finds it almost impossible to finish her off, as the chief and his wife sit either side of his consciousness, showing that the two greatest influences of his life are causing him to lose his edge. And he questions how could somebody so weak ever have the strength to find the elixir if he cannot kill a single person. As Gabimaru's hands quiver, his wife holds him, expelling the demons away, and he learns to accept a different form of strength, that being the strength of love. Which isn't the wrong answer here, it is simply a type of strength that Sagiri acknowledges. Gabimaru is no longer the heartless man he once was. And that's the story of Hell's Paradise. Oh, wait, this is the first 2 chapters. Wow, and it didn't take 200 volumes to get good like some people say about... If I haven't made myself clear, Hell's Paradise is a story of emotions and what it means to harbour such strong feelings. Gabimaru is not a character that deep down desires to express his love for his wife, and Sagiri a girl not only wanting to live up to her father's name and skill, but to do it in her own way. Anybody who wants to do something so badly, but can't have it due to circumstances, is certainly something that I feel everyone can relate to. Whether it's making a YouTube channel, whether it's making a lot of money, a hot date, a skill that you want to acquire. There are things in this world that we want to achieve that always seem impossible for somebody like me or you. You might think this, but it's not always true. Our unresolved issues, emotions, and past experiences shape our present actions and desires. Hell's Paradise offers a nuanced exploration of how these desires and emotions can be changed. And believe me, this manga gets even more interesting as you go on. So why does it get so much hate? Well, the first complaint I see is just crazy Jujutsu Kaisen fans wanting to see season 2 before this. And I'll be honest, the anime had a pretty horrendous, rough production, getting a lot of hate for its quote-unquote bad animation. While the animation is no means bad, it's definitely not Studio Mappa's best work, and is definitely stiff and rigid in places. The art style as well is not really translated properly, and that's just partly the fault of Yuji's spectacular art style. I feel personally that he is just leaps and bounds beyond the likes of the Dark Trio, just my opinion. So of course animating Yuji's work is going to take some of the edge off it, akin to something like Berserk. So just even take a look at this image of Gabimaru and Sagiri and compare it to the anime. Yeah, it doesn't really hit the same, does it? And despite all my research, I couldn't really find many criticism of the anime that isn't just, the animation's bad, Hell's Paradise sucks compared to JJK. Not really a criticism, I'd say, that's worth, listening to. If you really hate bad animation and you only watch Attack on Titan and JJK, go read the first 3 chapters on Hell's Paradise on Viz, it's free. But let's be honest, people probably can't read anyway that are talking like that. Well, guys, that's the video. I really hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry this wasn't Minato versus Itachi, or White Mask Obito versus the Akatsuki. I want to break into more narrative and essay type videos. I think Naruto is fun to scale, but kind of finding it more annoying the more I look into it. And I would love to do more things like a Chainsaw Man video or a Spy Family video. Please let me know in the comments what anime you think I should watch. And with that, thank you guys for watching. Thank you so much for 2K subscribers. Thank you for the comments, all that good stuff. Goodbye.